Commander Lee Hanna walked slowly through the quiet halls of New Terra Station. Today was different from other days. Today marked 200 years since Earth died. Her boots made soft sounds on the metal floor as she headed to the main ceremony hall. The hall was already full of people. Humans from many different worlds sat together. Some had pale skin from the cold ice planets. Others had dark skin from working in the hot asteroid mines. A few had strange silver eyes from living in deep space for so long. They all came here for the same reason, to remember their lost home. Hanna stepped up to the speaking platform. Behind her, a huge screen showed pictures of space. Tiny lights represented all the human colonies scattered across the galaxy. 47 different worlds where humans now lived. But none of them were Earth. 200 years ago, we lost everything, Hanna said. Her voice was strong but sad. Our sun became angry. Solar flares burned our home world. Earth died, and we had to run. In the crowd, old Park Ji-ho nodded his gray head. He was the colony's story keeper. He knew all the old tales about Earth. Behind him sat alien visitors who had come to show respect. Their strange shapes and colors made the hall look like a rainbow of different life forms. One alien visitor stood up. His body looked like living crystal that caught the light. "Humans are strong people," he said in a voice like music. "From one dead world you made homes on 47 new ones. This is not easy to do." Hanna smiled sadly. "Thank you, Ambassador Kilnari. But we still miss our first home." Park Ji-ho walked to the front. He was old and moved slowly, but his eyes were bright. "Let me tell you about Earth," he said. "It was not a nice, safe world. Earth was dangerous." The crowd became very quiet. Even the alien visitors leaned forward to listen. Earth had heavy gravity that made our bones strong. It had terrible storms that taught us to work together. Wild animals hunted our ancestors. Diseases tried to kill them. Hot deserts and cold mountains tested them every day. Ji-ho's voice grew stronger as he spoke. Earth was a death world, but it made us tough. Young children in the crowd looked amazed. They had grown up on safer worlds with controlled weather and no dangerous animals. It was hard for them to imagine such a place. Our ancestors had to fight for everything. Ji-ho continued. Food, water, shelter, safety. Nothing was free on Earth. But this fighting made us special. When other aliens meet humans, they say we are different. We do not give up. We do not break easily. This came from Earth. Hanna touched a button and the big screen changed. Now it showed old pictures of Earth. Blue oceans covered most of the planet. Green and brown land made shapes called continents. White clouds moved in the sky like smoke. It looked beautiful and peaceful, not dangerous at all. "It looks so pretty," whispered a small girl to her mother. "Pretty things can be dangerous too," her mother whispered back. The pictures changed again. Now they showed Earth animals, big cats with sharp teeth, huge reptiles that lived long ago, tiny creatures that could make people very sick, fish with poison, birds that could break bones with their beaks. Every day was a test on Earth, Ji-ho said. But humans learned to pass every test. We learned to make tools. We learned to grow food. We learned to heal sickness. We learned to travel across oceans and eventually to the stars. An alien visitor with 6 arms raised one of them. "Why do you miss such a hard world?" it asked. "Your new worlds are safer and easier." Hanna looked at the alien, then at all the humans in the room. "Because Earth made us who we are. A mother might be strict and make her children work hard, but the children still love their mother. Earth was our mother." The ceremony continued with more stories and memories. Some people cried quietly. Others held hands with their families. The alien visitors watched everything with interest. They did not have lost homeworlds. They could not understand the sadness, but they could see it was real and deep. As the ceremony ended, Hanna lit a special flame. It was not real fire, but it looked real. Every human colony had one of these flames. They called it the eternal flame, because it never went out. This flame represents Earth, Hana said. Even though our home is gone, the spirit of Earth lives in us. We carry Earth with us to every new world we make home. The flame danced in its crystal container. Its light reflected on all the faces watching it. Old faces and young faces. Sad faces and hopeful faces. All human faces, shaped by the lost world they would never see. After the ceremony, people talked quietly among themselves. Some shared old family stories about Earth. Others made plans to visit different colonies. The alien visitors asked questions about human customs and feelings. Hana stood alone by the flame for a long time after everyone else left. She touched the crystal gently and whispered, "We remember you, Earth. We will always remember." Outside the station windows, stars shined in the darkness. Somewhere among those stars were all the human colonies, each one carrying a piece of Earth's memory. The homeworld was gone, but its children still lived and grew and remembered. 3 weeks after the memorial ceremony, something strange happened. Station Chief Kim Minho was working the night shift at Deep Space Array 7. He liked working nights because space was quiet then. Most people were sleeping and the communication channels were not busy. Minho was drinking his third cup of coffee when his computer started making unusual sounds. Red lights flashed on his control panel. He had worked at the station for 15 years, but he had never seen anything like this before. "What is going on?" he said to himself. He pushed buttons and checked his screens. The readings made no sense. Something was sending a signal on very old radio frequencies. These frequencies had not been used for 200 years. The signal was strong and clear, but that was impossible. No one used these old channels anymore. They were from the time when Earth was still alive. Modern ships and stations used completely different ways to talk to each other. Minho recorded the signal and played it back. At first it sounded like random noise, but when he cleaned up the sound and made it clearer, he heard something that made his hands shake. "Earth to any human colonies. We are still here. We never left. Coordinates follow." The message repeated, over and over, the same words in the same voice, a human voice speaking perfect old Earth language. Minho dropped his coffee cup. It crashed on the floor and made a mess, but he did not care. "This is not possible," he whispered. "Earth is gone. Everyone knows Earth is gone." But the signal kept coming. Along with the voice message, there were numbers, coordinates that pointed to a place in space. Minho knew those coordinates. Every human child learned them in school. They pointed to Sol System, where Earth used to be. Minho called his supervisor right away. Then he called the main communication center on New Terra. Within 1 hour, the signal had reached every human colony in the galaxy. On New Terra, Lieutenant Choi Daeun was sleeping when her emergency communicator woke her up. She jumped out of bed and ran to the communication center still wearing her sleeping clothes. When she arrived, the place was full of people shouting and running around. "What is happening?" she asked. "Listen to this," said her friend Bei Gina. She played the recording of the signal. Daeun listened to it 3 times before she could speak. "Where did this come from?" Daeun asked. "Deep Space Array. 7 picked it up first, but now we are getting it from 6 different monitoring stations. The signal is very strong. It is coming from Sol System." Daeun ran more tests on the signal. She used every tool and program available to check if it was real. The quantum encryption was perfect. It matched exactly with old Earth communication protocols that had been lost for 2 centuries. "It is real," she said finally, "but it cannot be real. We saw the solar readings 200 years ago. We saw the flares that burned Earth." Commander Lee Hana arrived shortly after. She looked tired and worried. "Tell me everything," she said. Daeun played the signal again. Hana listened carefully, her face showing no emotion, but Daeun could see her hands were shaking a little. "How many people know about this?" Hana asked. "Too many," Daeun replied. "The signal is broadcasting on open channels. Anyone with a radio can hear it. The news is already spreading through the colonies." By morning, every human settlement in the galaxy was talking about the impossible signal. Some people were crying, with joy. Others were angry, thinking someone was playing a cruel joke. Many were confused and scared. On the mining world of Kepler Prime, workers stopped their jobs to gather around radios. On the farming planet of New Eden, families sat together, listening to the message over and over. On the cold research station of Titan Base, scientists ran calculations trying to figure out if the signal could be real. The alien governments were also paying attention. In the Galactic Council building, emergency meetings started right away. Many alien leaders thought the signal was fake. "Humans are emotional creatures," said Chancellor Vextar of the Trade Federation. His voice sounded like grinding metal. "They want their old home to be alive so badly that they will believe any lie." But Ambassador Kilnari disagreed. "The signal uses technology we do not understand. The quantum encryption is too complex to be fake. Perhaps we should investigate." "Investigate what?" Vextar replied. "Everyone knows Sol system is dead. The star is unstable. No life can exist there." Back on New Terra, Commander Hana made a difficult decision. She called together her best officers and scientists. "We are going to Sol system," she announced. "We are going to find out if this signal is real." "That could be dangerous," said Captain Yoon Siwoo. "If the signal is fake, we waste time and resources. If it is real..." He stopped talking and looked worried. "If it is real, then everything we know is wrong." Hana finished. "Either way, we have to know the truth. Too many people are hoping for this to be real. We cannot let them suffer without answers." The preparation for the journey began immediately. Hana chose a mixed crew of humans and aliens. She wanted witnesses from other species in case they found something important. As news of the expedition spread, messages came from all over the galaxy. Some people begged to join the mission, others warned against it. A few threatened to stop them, but nothing could stop the questions that burned in every human heart. Was Earth really gone? Or had they been wrong for 200 years? The answer waited in the darkness of space, in a system everyone thought was dead. The expedition ship New Dawn traveled through hyperspace for 30 long days. Captain Yoon Siwoo checked the navigation systems every few hours. Commander Lee Hana walked the ship corridors, talking to crew members and trying to keep everyone calm. Some people were excited, others were scared. All of them wondered what they would find at Sol system. "Dropping out of hyperspace in 10 minutes, announced Navigator Park Hyunwoo over the ship's communication system. Everyone who was not working came to the main viewing deck. Humans and aliens stood together, all looking out at the swirling lights of hyperspace. When the ship finally stopped, the lights disappeared. Regular space appeared around them, full of familiar stars, but something was very wrong. "Energy readings are impossible," said scanner technician Bei Gina. Her voice was shaking. "The whole system is alive." On the main screen they could see Sol system clearly. But it was not the dead system they expected to find. The sun burned bright and steady, not angry and dangerous like the old record said. Around it, planets moved in perfect circles. "That is Earth," whispered Dr. Lim Seung-jae, pointing at the third planet from the sun. But look at it. Earth was beautiful. Blue oceans reflected sunlight like mirrors. Green and brown continents showed healthy land. White clouds moved in slow patterns across the sky. But there was something else. The planet seemed to glow with a soft light that did not come from the sun. "I am reading massive energy signatures," Gina reported. "Technology levels far beyond anything in current galactic civilization. This planet has power sources we do not understand." Captain Siwoo looked at the readings with amazement. "The energy output is 10 times greater than our most advanced worlds. How is this possible?" Before anyone could answer, the ship's communication system activated. A calm voice filled the bridge. "Welcome home, children of Earth." Everyone turned to look at the main screen. The face of a man appeared. He looked human, but something was different about him. His eyes seemed to hold deep knowledge, like he had lived for many lifetimes. When he smiled, it felt like warm sunlight. "I'm Coordinator Nam Seonho of the Synthesis Council," the man said. We have been waiting for you to come home. Hana stepped forward. Coordinator Seonho, I am Commander Lee Hana of the human colonies. We thought Earth was destroyed 200 years ago. Seonho's smile became sad. We know what you thought. We are sorry for the deception, but it was necessary. Please come. Down to the surface. There is much to explain. The new dawn flew through Earth's atmosphere. As they descended, the crew saw wonders that made no sense. Cities grew like living trees, their buildings reaching high into the sky while roots went deep into the ground. Between the cities, forests sparkled with lights that pulsed like heartbeats. Those are not electric lights, said Dr. Lim, studying his instruments. The trees themselves are making light. The whole forest is connected like one big organism. They landed in what used to be called Korea, but now the entire area was one huge garden city. Buildings and plants grew together so perfectly that it was hard to tell where technology ended and nature began. Coordinator Seonho met them at the landing area. He was tall and moved with unusual grace. When he shook hands with the visitors, his touch felt warm and somehow comforting. Welcome to New Earth, he said. Or perhaps we should call it True Earth, since this is what our world was always meant to become. How? Hana asked. The question came out as barely a whisper. The solar flare was our choice, Seonho explained as he led them through the garden city. We discovered how to bend space and time around our world. We made the galaxy forget us so we could grow into what we needed to be. The streets were not made of stone or metal. They were living pathways that felt soft under their feet. Water flowed upward in beautiful spirals, carrying both water and glowing information throughout the city. Children played in the parks, but they looked somehow more than human. Their eyes were brighter, their movements more graceful. Your people evolved, observed Ambassador Kilnari, the crystal alien who had joined the expedition. We did not evolve alone, Seonho replied. We learned to work with Earth itself. The planet became our partner, not just our home. We think together now, Earth and humanity as one. They visited the Great Assembly Hall, which had grown from the psalm roots of ancient trees. Inside, other humans greeted the visitors. These Earth humans looked similar to the colonists, but there was something special about them. They seemed to glow with inner light and moved with perfect coordination. Dr. Han Minseo, Earth's chief scientist, showed them incredible technology. Plants that could turn raw materials into finished products, water that carried information and could heal injuries. Most amazing of all, the Earth humans could speak directly to the planet's consciousness. We did not just survive, explained cultural coordinator Shin Yujin. We became something new. We learned to think in centuries instead of years. We learned to see connections between all living things. But why did you hide? Asked Captain Siwoo. Why did you let us think you were dead? Seonho's expression became serious. Because we needed time to prepare, and because the galaxy was not ready to know we still existed. Prepare for what? Hana asked, though something in his tone frightened her. For what is coming, Seonho replied. Show them. A holographic display appeared in the air. It showed the galaxy from far away, as if viewed from outside. At the edges of the image, darkness was slowly moving inward, consuming stars and leaving empty space behind. They have been coming for 50 years, Seonho said quietly. We have been getting ready. The Great Assembly Hall was unlike anything the visitors had ever seen. The walls were made of living wood that pulsed with gentle light. Information flowed through the tree bark like glowing rivers. The floor was soft and warm, made of some material that changed shape to make everyone comfortable. Commander Lee Hana sat with her expedition team on one side of the hall. Across from them sat the Earth humans, led by Coordinator Nam Seonho. Between them sat alien ambassadors who had come to witness this historic meeting. We have much to discuss, Seonho said. His voice carried easily through the hall without any speakers or microphones. First, you must understand what we have become. Dr. Han Minseo stood up. He was Earth's chief scientist, but he looked more like a gardener than a researcher. His clothes seemed to be made of living fabric that shifted colors like leaves in sunlight. "Watch this," he said simply. Minseo walked to a wall and placed his hand on the living wood. Immediately, the wall began to change. It grew into a table, then chairs, then transformed into a small tree that bore fruit. "The wall listened to my thoughts," Minseo explained. "I asked it to become what we needed, and it agreed." The visitors stared in amazement. Lieutenant Choi Dayun reached out to touch the new tree. The fruit felt real and smelled wonderful. "How is this possible?" she asked. "We learned to talk with living things," replied Cultural Coordinator Shin Yujin. "Not just with words, but with thoughts and feelings. Earth taught us how to do this during our 200 years together." Captain Yoon Siwoo looked skeptical. "You are saying the planet is alive?" "All planets are alive in their own way," Seonho answered. "But Earth and humanity learned to live as partners. We help each other grow and survive." To demonstrate, Yujin walked to a section of the floor. She knelt down and placed both hands on the soft surface. The floor began to glow brighter, and suddenly a small stream of clean water appeared, flowing from nowhere. "I asked the floor for water," she said. "The building's living systems created it for me." The alien ambassadors were especially interested. Ambassador Kilnari's crystal body flashed with different colors, which meant he was excited. "This technology could change everything," he said. "No more need for factories or machines. Living systems could provide whatever we need." "But there is a problem," said Chancellor Vextar, the Trade Federation representative. His metallic voice sounded angry. "You have been watching us for 200 years. You have been spying on the entire galaxy." The room became very quiet. Seono nodded slowly. "Yes, we have been watching. We had to make sure our children among the stars were safe." "Children?" Hana asked. "All humans who left Earth are our children," Seono explained. "When parents send their children into the world, they still watch over them from far away. We did the same thing." Park Hye-jin, another Earth coordinator, activated a display in the air. It showed images from different human colonies over the past 2 centuries. Happy moments like weddings and festivals, but also sad times like wars and disasters. "We watched you grow and learn," Hye-jin said. "We saw you make mistakes and succeed. We wanted to help, but we knew you needed to become strong on your own." "So you let us think you were dead?" Daeun's voice was full of hurt. "Do you know how much we suffered? How lonely we felt?" Eugene eyes filled with tears. "We know. Every day we felt your pain. But we also felt your strength growing. You became amazing people because you had to survive without us." Dr. Lim Sung-jae, the expedition's medical officer, asked, "What about the solar flare? We detected it 200 years ago. Our instruments showed Earth burning." "We created that signal," Minseo admitted. "We learned how to bend space around our world. We made it look like the sun was killing us, but really we were hiding Earth in a pocket of folded space." "Folded space?" Ambassador Kilnari asked. "That is theoretical technology. No one has ever made it work." "Earth helped us learn," Seono said. "When humans and a living planet work together, we can do things that seem impossible." The reunion continued for hours. Earth humans showed their visitors more wonders: gardens that grew food in minutes, rivers that flowed upward carrying both water and information, children who could speak with animals and plants. But not everything was happy. Some of the visiting humans felt angry about being deceived. Others felt jealous of Earth's advanced technology. The alien ambassadors were divided between amazement and fear. "Why are you telling us this now?" Hana finally asked. "Why reveal yourselves after 200 years?" Seonho's expression became grave. "Because something is coming that threatens all of us." He activated another display. This one showed the galaxy from a great distance. At the edges, darkness was slowly eating away at the stars. "We call them the Void Seekers," Seonho said. "They consume everything they touch. Stars, planets, entire civilizations disappear when they arrive." "How do you know this?" Chancellor Vextar demanded. "Because we have been watching beyond the galaxy's edge," Hyejin answered. "Our sensor networks can see farther than anyone else's." We have been tracking the Void Seekers for 50 years. The room fell silent as everyone stared at the display. The darkness was vast and seemed to be moving steadily toward their part of the galaxy. How long do we have? Hana asked quietly. 20 years, Xianho replied. Maybe less. The weight of this news settled over everyone like a heavy blanket. Earth had not revealed itself to rejoin the galaxy as a lost member. It had revealed itself to warn them of the greatest danger they had ever faced. The emergency council meeting lasted for 3 days. The chamber of synthesis was packed with representatives from across the galaxy. The room itself seemed alive, with walls that showed information through glowing patterns and a floor that changed shape to make everyone comfortable. On the first day, many alien leaders were angry and scared. They shouted at the Earth humans and accused them of lying for 200 years. Some wanted to leave immediately and pretend they had never found Earth. "How can we trust you now?" demanded Chancellor Vextar. His metallic voice echoed through the chamber. "You lied to us for centuries. You watched us like we were children." Coordinator Nam Siono remained calm. "We understand your anger, but we did not lie to hurt you. We lied to save you." "Save us from what?" asked Ambassador Kilnari. General Oh Tai-hyun stepped forward. He was Earth's military coordinator, but he looked more like a teacher than a soldier. His uniform seemed to be made of the same living material as everything else on Earth. "From the Void Seekers," Taehyun said. "Let me show you what we learned." The chamber walls came alive with images. They showed the edge of the galaxy where darkness was consuming everything. Entire star systems disappeared, leaving empty space behind. "We sent hidden probes beyond our galaxy 50 years ago," Taehyun explained. "What we found terrified us. The Void Seekers have destroyed thousands of civilizations. They turn everything into darkness and move on." The images showed destroyed worlds. Some had been burned to ash. Others looked like they had been drained of all life and energy. A few simply no longer existed, leaving holes in space itself. "They are not like any enemy we have ever faced," continued Taehyun. "They do not want to conquer or rule. They only want to consume. When they finish with one galaxy, they move to the next." Dr. Han Minseo joined the presentation. "We spent 200 years preparing for them. We turned our entire world into a weapon, but not the kind that destroys. We became a weapon that protects." "What does that mean?" asked Commander Lee Hana. "Watch," Minseo said. The chamber floor became transparent, showing the ground far below. Deep under the earth, massive root systems glowed with energy. The roots connected to every city, every forest, every ocean on the planet. "Earth and humanity became one organism," Minseo explained. "We can coordinate the defense of the entire galaxy through our living network. When the Void Seekers come, we will not fight them as separate worlds and species. We will fight as one united force." The alien representatives looked amazed and frightened. This kind of technology was beyond anything they had imagined. "You want us to join this network?" asked a representative from the hegemony. "We want to teach you to create your own networks," replied Cultural Coordinator Shin Yujin. "Each world should remain independent. But in times of great danger, we can all work together." Captain Yoon Siwoo raised his hand. "What about the human colonies? We are not as advanced as Earth. How can we help?" "You are more important than you know," Xianho answered. "Earth humans learned to live in harmony, but we lost something in the process. We became peaceful, but maybe too peaceful. The humans who left Earth kept the fighting spirit that we will need." "Fighting spirit?" Lieutenant Choi Dune asked. "The ability to never give up, even when everything seems hopeless," Taehyun explained. "Earth humans can work with living systems and coordinate massive defenses. But colony humans remember how to fight when there is no hope left. We need both kinds of strength." The debate continued for 2 more days. Some alien species wanted to run away from the galaxy before the Void Seekers arrived. Others wanted to fight, but did not trust Earth's methods. A few suggested surrendering immediately. But gradually the arguments changed. Representatives began asking practical questions about the defense plans, instead of complaining about the deception. They wanted to know how the living networks worked and whether their species could learn to use them. On the third day, Commander Hana stood up to speak. The chamber became quiet. Earth is not asking to rejoin the galaxy as just another member, she said. You are offering to become our protector, but more than that, you want to teach us to protect ourselves. Yes, Seano replied. The Void Seekers are not just another enemy. They are a test. This challenge will either destroy us or make us grow into something greater than we ever imagined. What if we fail? Asked Ambassador Kilnari. Then everything ends, Taehyun said simply. Every world, every species, every dream and hope in this galaxy will be consumed by darkness. The final vote was taken on the evening of the third day. The chamber walls glowed softly as representatives from hundreds of worlds cast their decisions. When the counting finished, the result was clear. The vote was unanimous. Every species, every world, every government agreed to the alliance. Earth would emerge from its 200-year hiding, but it would not return as the lost homeworld of humanity. It would take its place as the guardian and teacher of galactic civilization. Commander, Hana accepted the position of Human Integration Coordinator. Her job would be to help the scattered human colonies learn Earth's new technologies and join the galaxy-wide defense network. As the meeting ended, Hana stood in the chamber of synthesis and watched the walls pulse with the rhythm of a living planet. Through the transparent floor, she could see the glowing roots that connected all life on Earth. The galaxy was no longer alone in the darkness. Earth had returned, not as a lost child seeking help, but as a parent ready to defend its family against any threat the universe might bring. 20 years to prepare. It would have to be enough.